Hi! With the 2.40 release of Roll the Dice, a lot of old perks have been overhauled, and the best way to showcase the changes is through a video. Starting with Godmode, the old effect was very straightforward. You were completely immune to damage, and some sparkles float around you to try to indicate that. The new effect features a new look with a white aura around you, and a twist to the mechanics of Godmode. You still have Godmode, but once an enemy is damaged, they are able to attack you back, and this is possible for them until they die. However, you have the upper hand in the form of high damage resistance. This makes it possible for enemies to retaliate, while still keeping the spirit of the perk.
Come here, sweetheart. Good eye.
The effect of the old Toxic was notoriously glitchy in first person, and all the effort went into fixing just that. In the new version, the effect better displays the range of the Toxic Cloud, and is also team colored. Next is Flying or No Clip. The perk always had a second mode which allowed you to fly without no clipping, but the controls were very janky, which is why it was disabled by default. Now this other mode was re-implemented from scratch with proper controls. This makes it good enough to be the default.
Gravity? Who gives a crap about gravity?
Low gravity, instead of helping, was often leaving you exposed to the enemy team. It has been reconceptualized into increasing jump height instead. And to make it more interesting, it grants you a brief speed boost when jumping, and also disables fall damage. Invisibility turned you invisible.
They'll see us coming.
Now, featuring some visual updates, it also makes you speed through enemies. Which should help you, because every time you bump into an enemy, attack, or take damage, your silhouette is briefly shown to everyone in your last location. Explode was just this. You explode. Now you find yourself confined to a bomb. You cannot move outside its radius, and it will still explode you right when the perk timer reaches 0. So what's left to do then to attack it? If you manage to kill it in time, you're safe and free to go.
You did well!
Old Frozen was imitating a spicicle death. It actually turns you invisible for the duration of the perk, while your fake ragdoll was lying nearby.
Standing around like a...
The effect has been completely overhauled by putting you in an ice statue instead. It gives you some resistance and muffles your voice commands as you scream for help. But the screams are not in vain, because a passing teammate is able to break you out when they deal enough damage to the ice. You might be extra lucky encountering a pyro who can melt it quickly. In the old blind, your vision slowly turns to complete darkness. Now, in order to give you some defensive capabilities, you get helper annotations which follow the enemies on your screen. Additionally, every time you land an attack, your vision comes back for a brief moment. Old Strip to Melee largely disabled you in the field by removing your ranged options. This is still the case after the update, but you no longer need to rush back to spawn to retrieve your gear. Each case contains one weapon that was removed from you, and destroying it gets it back.
Beauty!
Of course, teammates can help you out here, and are rewarded with ammo restock if they do. Firework used to launch you high in the air and explode your character. The exploding part has been turned into setting on fire. That and some new visuals.
It is the crit way for your head, wanker!
Team Criticals acted as a straight-up upgrade to Criticals by sharing the effect with your nearby teammates. It is no longer a straight-up upgrade by attempting to direct enemy attention towards you with new visuals, as well as marking you for death. PowerPlay. Ubered with no knockback and full-on crits. The new version is likely the first of many iterations of this perk. The changes have been many, with new visuals and powers, some added, others removed. The gist is that PowerPlay is now a melee-oriented perk, turning you into more of a mini-boss.
I am going to enjoy killing each and every one of you.
Knockback now plays a great role in countering the perk. That and running away. When dying with Mercs Die Twice, you might as well just spam the revive button to get back into the fight, turning the perk into essentially a worse version of Godmode. This update introduces a cooldown before a revive can be triggered, and it also makes you regain less health the more you die.
It's the devil's work!
Hell's Reach slowed you down to a crawl, then mercilessly began damaging you and launched you in the air on fire when the perk ended.
Need some help here? Fire!
It has been made much less deadly. After you get damaged, the slowdown is reset and begins again before the next damage tick can happen. Additionally, the setting on fire and launching in air on perk's end has been removed.
I'm batting 1,000!
Old Bat Swarm allowed you to effortlessly ransack through the enemy team and knock them around everywhere. This is now prevented by greatly slowing you down while the effect is active, turning it into a great defensive perk instead. Since this is a considerable downside, you are now able to activate and deactivate the effect with a voice command. As it activates, you are completely frozen and exposed to the enemies for a couple of seconds, making it a high-risk, high-reward perk if you do plan to use it offensively. The activation time is dependent on your remaining perk time, so there is barely any delay if you have 3 seconds left, for example. Lastly, we have Smite. Much like Explode or Firework, it used to just kill you. The new version doesn't kill you instantly, but you do get hit by thunder, which leaves you in an electrocuted state. When in this state, every now and then you discharge for a split second, damage of which accumulates to most of your max health over time. The idea is that energy is being discharged outside of your body, and I thought it would be fun to show it by giving you crits for the split second as it happens. So time your shots well. And those were the visual summaries of the changes to the old perks. There were some new added and many bugs fixed, so I encourage you to read the changelog for more details. And for even more details, check out this balanced spreadsheet I have been referencing to make this update happen. It documents the smallest changes to those perks, along with my reasoning on why things are the way they are. This spreadsheet isn't finished, and I welcome any comments or suggestions you might have for future updates. And that's it. Thank you for listening and have fun in TF2.
You're all a bunch of no-hopers!